I'm on air, yo, live. And normally I'm my first viewer. So what I'm gonna do is all I gotta do is go to my own channel. Come on, laptop. All right, guys. So, oh, yeah, and you can even see here on my computer, it says "Painting with the Prince: Art and Education" is now live. And where's my cursor? Click on that. I pull that up, and I have my chat there, and we already got a viewer in here. So, and then it looks even better on YouTube. I mean, because you can see more of the room. The chat is on the side of the screen and not in front of the screen, and it just looks better. So I'm gonna hop off the Facebook feed, guys, and focus on YouTube. Like I said, if you guys are gonna stick around for a minute, come over to the YouTube channel, man. We can still chat and do the same thing over there and chill for a minute. Peace. Dang, they got a lot of views. 98 views just now. And I'm gonna delete that though. I don't really save those Facebook videos too much. When. And the other thing too. This is the one thing though. You have to use the PlayStation app in order to turn this music off.
connected to iPhone.
Baptized and convert to the waves with us. I tuned into what the future holds. I can never be a slave, niggas. They gon' have to pay me. Navy downloaded by the titles like Jay-Z. That's a roll offshore like an AP Davey Jones, like I own top of those hoppers off the side of the ship. Suicide didn't die from the dip. Submarine man, keep your eyes on the blitz. Sonar, echo location of where we are facing. Get back to our nation. Hola. So we walking back to Africa, and I found a detour to the seashore. Yes, jumped off the deck to leave footsteps on the depths of the seafloor. Yeah. Mountains where the beach is white, where the beach is white, cause the beach just like. So I'm going back home, I took a leap last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet just like Jesus Christ. Wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water. Hey, my mountains where the beach is white, where the beach is white, cause the beach just like. So I'm going back home, I took a leap last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet just like Jesus Christ. Dive with us, vibe with us, imbibe with the tide, see salty cause it cried with us. When we looked it in the eyes, like how could you help her? Poseidon apologized and said that I'm sorry with shelter. Y'all can live down here forever, drowning is severed from all your lungs and the lungs of your sons to your daughters. The water's a treasure. Some in the forest, talking the trees. Like how could you be in the chorus with something so horrid? We became boards for the floors and the doors of the warships. Anthropomorphic, the forest returned with a match made from itself and said burn us with that. Then left again and came back with that axe. We can serve you as furniture, furnace us blackie. My bones is where the beach is white, where the beach is white, cause the beach just like. So I'm going back home, I took a leap last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet just like Jesus Christ. Wow, walking on water, wow. Last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet just like Jesus Christ. Walking on water, yeah, shipwreck with us. Grab vessels, bring them down to the depths with us. Take a hold of the bow with a Jesus and the Brigantine Sanderson and the Amistad and the Henry of London, Elizabeth, Fanny Butler and the Hector and the Creed, the Baratoga and the Martha Lauren and the Caroline and the Brittany and the Comet, Alabama and the Wanderer, Henrietta Marie, the Molly, the Sloop, the Moloch and the Bull Murtay and the River Volta, the Lord Board, the LSC, the Eagle, the Agent Coca and the Colorado, Tartar Morgan, the Misa, the Pangas and the Mary Bull and the Surf, Queensberry and the Liverpool, the Marquis O'Grady, the Inbus, the Ferras, the Leons, the Navigator and the Phoenix, Clay Tormu, Dragon, Greyway, Ruby, Caroline Bark and the Taganini of Carrollton, Dennis Swallow, Green Dragon and the Charles, the A, the Moon Tapping and the Slant, Hannibal of London, Jeffrey, Littlefeet, Mediterranean, Rihanna Lee, the Solomon and the Tire, Cop, the Mercy, the Envy, the Little Napoleon, Rainbow, Enterprise, the Catherine, Bristol, the Columbia, the Anne, the Adelaide, Brooks, and the Law. Moses, where the beach is white, where the beach is white, cause the beach just like. So I'm going back home, I took a leap last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet just like Jesus Christ. Wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water. Hey, my Moses, where the beach is white, where the beach is white, cause the beach just like. So I'm going back home, I took a leap last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet just like Jesus Christ. Rise with us from out the sevens to the heavens and the skies in us. Conversations with the constellations. complications. While you navigate the haters, black baby alligator betas, supposed to do greater with all of your alphas and betas and minors and majors. You were so busy just trying to shine. You should have been trying to save us. Start said excuse our behavior. We will be indebted to you for all of eternity if you counseled your heart and forgave us. Remove all our favors from children to sailors and slavers. Repay you with acres, but here in the heavens where harvest is greater, a meager inheritance. Pardon our arrogance, those with Americans got them two places much safer. Hey, Moses where the beach is white, where the beach is white, cause the beach just like. So I'm going back home, I took a leap last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet just like Jesus Christ. Wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water. Moses where the beach is white, where the beach is white, cause the beach just like. So I'm going back home, I took a leap last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet just like Jesus Christ.
This is my favorite song on the album, so just one more time.
Way with us, baptized and convert to the waves with us. I tuned into what the future holds. I can never be a slave, niggas. They gon' have to pay me. Navy, downloaded by the titles like Jay-Z. That's a roll offshore like an AP. Davey Jones like I own top of those hoppers off the side of the ship. Suicide didn't die from the dip. Submarine man, keep your eyes on the blips. Sonar, echo location, know where we are facing. Get back to our nation. Hola. So we walking back to Africa, and I found a detour to the seashore. Yes, jumped off the deck to leave footsteps on the depths of the seafloor. Yeah. Moses where the beach is white, where the beach is white, cause the beach just like. So I'm going back home, I took a leap last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet just like Jesus Christ. Wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water. Moses where the beach is white, where the beach is white, cause the beach just like. So I'm going back home, I took a leap last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet just like Jesus Christ. Dive with us, vibe with us, imbibe with the tide, see salty cause it cried with us. When we looked it in the eyes, like how could you help her? Beside apologize and said that I'm sorry with shelter. Y'all can live down here forever, drowning is severed from all your lungs and the lungs of your sons to your daughters. The water's a treasure. Some in the forest, talking the trees. Like how could you be in the chorus with something so horrid? You became boards for the floors and the doors of the warships. Anthropomorphic, the forest returned with a match made from itself and said burn us with that. Then left again and came back with that axe. We can serve you as furniture, furnace us black, yeah. Moses where the beach is white, where the beach is white, cause the beach just like. So I'm going back home, I took a leap last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet just like Jesus Christ. Wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water, wow, wow, walking on water. Moses where the beach is white, where the beach is white, cause the beach just like. So I'm going back home, I took a leap last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet just like Jesus Christ. Yeah, shipwrecked with us. Grab vessels, bring them down to the depths with us. Take a hold of the bow with a Jesus. And the Brigantine Sanderson. And the Amistad. And the Henry of London. Elizabeth, Fanny Butler. And the Hector. And the Creed, the Baratoga. And the Martha Lauren. And the Caroline. And the Brittany. And the Comet, Alabama. And the Wanderer. Henrietta Marie. The Molly, the Sleuth. The Moloch. And the Blue Murte. And the River Volta. The Lord Board. The LSC. The Eagle. The Agent Coca. And the Colorado. Tartar Morgan. The Misa. The Pangas. And the Mary Bull. And the Surf. Queensberry. And the Liverpool. The Marquis O'Grady. The Inbox. The Ferras. The Leons. The Navigator. And the Phoenix. Claytor. Mugu. Dragon. Greyway. Ruby. Caroline Bark. And the Tagging Indy of Carrollton. Swallow, Green Dragon, and the Charles Charles, the A1A, the moon tapping in the slant. Hannibal of London, Jeffrey, Little Feet, Mediterranean, really Annalie, the Solomon, and the Tire, Cobb, the Mercy, the Invader, Little Napoleon, Rainbow, Enterprise, the Catherine, Bristol, the Columbia, the Anne, the Adelaide, Brooks, and the Law. Moses by the beaches, white as the beaches, white as the beaches, like some back home, last night, getting looking on water to my feet, just like Jesus Christ. Wow, wow, walking on water, wow, walking on water, wow, walking on water. Moses by the beaches, white as the beaches, white as they bleach, just like in the mortal going to the beat last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet, just like Jesus Christ. Rise with us, from out the sevens to the heavens and the skies with us. Conversations with the constellations, while you navigate the haters. Black baby alligator betas, supposed to do greater with all of your alphas and betas and minors and majors. You were so busy just trying to shine. You should have been trying to save us. Stars said excuse our behavior. We will be indebted to you for all of eternity if you counseled your heart and forgave us. Remove all our favors from children to sailors and slavers. Repay you with acres, but here in the heavens where harvest is greater, a meager inheritance. Pardon our arrogance, those with Americans got them two places much safer. Hey, Moses where the beaches, white where the beaches, white cause they bleach just like some. Going back home, I took a leak last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet just like Jesus Christ. Wow, walking on water, wow, walking on water, wow, walking on water, wow, walking on water. Moses where the beaches, white where the beaches, white cause they bleach just like some. Going back home, I took a leak last night, so I'm walking on water to my feet just like Jesus Christ. For you, for fire and light for you, star. Fall off the flat for you, sugar. 3 in the path for you, see. All that I have for you, for fire and light for you, star. Fall off the flat for you, sugar. 3 in the path for you, see. All that I have for you, for fire and light for you, star. Fall off the flat for you, sugar. 3 in the path for you, see. All that I have for you, for fire and light for you, fall off the flat for you, sure. 3 in the path for you. Me tell you about the team. Come sit round the fire. Me tell you where we come from. Me tell you the story. Some men wanna live like a banker, fill up the...
Adults are responsible for teaching children how to observe the ways of their ancestors. In fact, God insists that adults talk to their children when they sit at home and when they walk along the road, when they lie down and when they get up. In other words, God is saying, don't mess up the children. African American families are being driven further and further apart from each other to the extent that children, particularly those living in urban neighborhoods, are growing up without the benefit of having adults in whom they can confide. Consequently, African American cultural values are at risk of being lost, like teaching children to respect their elders and saying thank you and no thank you and other forms of common courtesy. God is saying, don't mess up the children. You live forever.
you up. You ain't really dying, we watched you grow up. At 12 months, you took your first steps awkwardly across the kitchen floor to your best. Your first breaths that we can call words were in your father's lap on November 23rd. And they would live for me, and he did for you. Flipped a neutron and stayed inside the crib for you. And this commitment from your father imparted a deep sense of value you forever harbor. We were all so proud as we seen you getting smarter, and the bond grow deep between the mother and the daughter. You are not a martyr. Describe all the different regions, could tell when we were sick and even knew the reasons. The world wasn't at peace, gunfire every weekend, but you were hardly there because you was always leaving. Film museum, planetarium, aquarium, you saw something special in the tank you were staring in. And in those moments, as a little girl, you realized it was a bigger world, bigger than the South Side, bigger than Chicago. You were bigger still, wanting rims on your car though, and big ass woofers in your car though, so you could wang like your daddy at the park eating sharks. Went to King where you were teased for being smart, where you bumped into Hadia teaching art. You live. Scholarship. At 22 is when you got your doctorate. Even now it's kinda hard to believe, but your father taught you work hard and achieve, and you complied, accepted by every medical school you applied. But the coolest thing is when they offered you that high-paying slot, you replied, they need me in the hood, and that's where you reside. Free clinic, nobody denied. That's where you heard the shots.
I got my eye on all the prizes, got my wake up feeling like, yo, today gonna be a good day, and then like people fuck with you. Shut your ass up, bitch. Listen, I'm tired of y'all. I'm trying to be polite and tell you bitches jokes. Now you mad because I said bitch. You can never blame a person for how they react. You know what I'm saying? If you slap a nigga you don't know when he shoots you, you can't be like, God damn, you overreact. You know, leave me the fuck alone. I'm up here doing youth services. I got paid before I started, bitch. I can leave now. Wesley can't beat me in a fight. What'd you say? Listen, y'all, this is what I don't like about you bitches. And I'm talking about niggas too. Y'all sit all the way back there saying, I don't want to get cracked on. Then you want to try your arm. I'm going to fuck you up on this type of shit because I'm ignorant as fuck. Yeah, they can't. This bitch, I bought them. Guess what, you can buy your dick and I can't, don't mean mine don't size up. She going through a phase. She'll fuck me in 2 years. Shut up, bitch. She probably got kids. She ain't no real dyke. He probably got kids, bitch. Fuck out of here. You want to be tough now because the nigga used to fuck you up turned you tough. Don't get smart with me. Fuck Lawrence up. He don't want to beat you gay. With your hairy ass pussy. I was minding my business, y'all. What now? What now? What now? You ain't got to tell me shit, bitch. You ain't get paid to talk. You ain't got to say shit, but just fucking shut the fuck up. You can't take me to the mall, bitch. I shop good.
I'm going to 2X.
She don't dress nice, so how you gonna take me to the mall? Step your pussy up and your tongue, bitch. I got you wet right now. You don't know what to do. Look at her. She don't know what to do. You know she can't talk to God about it. She's like, devil, what's happening? You're going to hell, bitch. Where you going? Red in her hair. I don't drink. I'm not an alcoholic, bitch. I don't gotta forget about my uncle touching me. You do. I don't gotta forget about nobody touching me. You do. I'm good. I got paid to do this, bitch. You paid to come here. I'm at least 20 up on you. Dumb bitch. How do you feel, little dog? Hey, yo, if you can find Rihanna, stand ovation. Tell that bitch, you look so dumb right now. This bitch suck that pussy and don't get yours sucked. You ain't even good at making deals, bitch. No, she on fire. She ain't washed her dildo and got burnt. This bitch got dildos in a dishwasher. When she fuck a bitch, she say deeper. She say hold up and go in the drawer. Fuck out of here, you dusty bitch. And I'll still fuck you. You all woman. And your throat deep. And your throat deep.
That's why it's dry. All that dick in your mouth. Yeah.
Oh, everybody's eat. All right, one more try because she's trying to get a laugh. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to shut up and we're going to wait till she say something funny. Go.
Now let me wear that sweater home. It's little as shit.
You want to fuck me? That's why you want to wear it home, bitch. Let me have your sports bra to come in. Bitch. You got a sports bra and a regular bra. Just in case you beat Mr. Right. You're not going to win, bitch, with your black gums. Erica Badu. End of the day, you mad because niggas used to just stuck you in your ass because your pussy smell worse. End of the day, you had to get babysitted by that uncle that nobody had kids with. End of the day, nobody wanted to fuck you. You gay by genetics. Who would fuck you? I'm waiting. Who would fuck her? By the raise her hands. What man in here? None. She only fucking you because you got a state job. She got daddy issues, and now I'm gonna be her daddy after this show. She gonna look me up. It don't matter, bitch. You know who else old? Idris Elba, and he'll fuck your bitch too. You ain't shit, bitch. You ain't gonna be shit. Never. You a whore.
Yo, I don't know.
Cobweb pussy the fuck out this place. Your parents don't love you. Well, nobody loves you.
It doesn't have a name.
This bitch wears slaps.
Yo, it doesn't have a name on it. It just says comedian goes in heavy on a female heckler. It published January the 25th last year, and it doesn't. Oh, follow Dave Butler on Instagram. Let me click this link real quick. Is this who it is? Dave Butler. Yeah, comedian David Butler is his name, yo. I'm gonna rewind it back just a few minutes, just like a few minutes back into it.
Let me have your sports bra to come in. Bitch. You got a sports bra and a regular bra, just in case you beat Mr. Right.
Just in case you beat Mr. Right.
You're not gonna win, bitch, with your black gums. Erica Badu.
Yo, why did she even start? Why would you start with a comedian? Why would you start with a comedian? This motherfucker got so many dyke jokes lined up. This bitch got dildos in the dishwasher. Don't get mad, cause you gotta buy your dick and I don't. Yo, I still fuck you. You all woman. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the nigga who beat you gay. You get mad at Lawrence. Yo, he is roasting this chick, yo, roasting.
End of the day, you mad because niggas just stuck you in your ass because your pussy smell worse. End of the day, you had to get babysitted by that uncle that nobody had kids with. End of the day, nobody wanted to fuck you. You gay by genetics.
End of the day, you had to get babysitted by that uncle nobody had kids with. What the hell kind of fucked up shit is that to say? Damn, end of the day, you gay, nobody want to fuck you, you gay by genetics. Damn. Damn. Yo, he is killing this chick, yo.
Who would fuck you? I'm waiting. Who would fuck her? By the raise of hands. What man in here? None. She only fucking you because you got a steak job. She got daddy issues, and now I'm gonna be her daddy after this show. She gonna look me up. It don't matter, bitch. You know who else old? Idris Elba, and he'll fuck your bitch too. You ain't shit, bitch. You ain't gonna be shit. Never. You a whore. Get your cobweb pussy the fuck out this place. Your parents don't love you. But nobody loves you. This bitch wears slouch socks. That's funny as shit, ain't it? Hey, look, that bitch you wear slouch socks with the Bobo stripes, bitch. How your balls stick on a dildo? Bitch, you dirty. But on a positive note. I gotta get out of here. So, God bless all y'all, right? Follow me on Instagram, comedian Dave Butler. And y'all have a good night.
Hey, shorty. Hey, shorty. I got all
that. This bitch got on some slouch socks with the Bobo stripes on it. What's wrong with you? Shit, I got paid to come here. You paid to come here. I'm at least 20 up on you. I need to take your ass to the mall. You can't dress. Shit, how you gonna take me to the mall? She can't dress. You need to step your pussy up in your tongue. Oh, to the first shot, yo, you don't really see what stars it out, yo. It's already, it's not in full swing but it was already heated. So they've already said one or two things back and forth before whoever started recording it. So you can't really see how what was her first shot she threw at him.
Wake up feeling like, yo, today gonna be a good day, and then like people fuck with you.
He hates you.
Shut your ass up, bitch.
She said they hate you or some shit. And that's what cause he went straight mean right here, like, shut your ass up, bitch. Cause alright, so he started on saying, don't you just get mad when somebody just started trying to fuck off your day? So he probably was already talking about her. She done said something before she said they hate you, and he said shut the fuck up, bitch. Like that seemed like he was tired. Like she must have said one or two things, and then he just went at her. You know, he probably trying to play it smooth. It sounds like he's trying to tell another joke or lead into another joke, and she says something else. And he's like, shut the fuck up, bitch. And then it just, he stays on her from the beginning right here. After he says that, he just stays on her ass, yo.
Wake up feeling like, yo, today gonna be a good day, and then like people fuck with you.
He hates you.
Shut your ass up, bitch. Listen, I'm tired of y'all. I'm trying to be polite and tell you bitches jokes. Now you mad because I said bitch. You can never blame a person for how they react. You know what I'm saying? If you slap a nigga you don't know when he shoots you, you can't be like, God damn, you overreact. You know, leave me the fuck alone. I'm up here doing youth services. I got paid before I started, bitch. I can leave now. Wesley can't beat me in a fight. What you say? Listen, y'all, this is what I don't like about you bitches. And I'm talking about niggas too. Y'all sit all the way back there saying, I don't want to get cracked on. Then you want to try your arm. I will fuck you up on this type of shit because I'm ignorant as fuck. Yeah, they can't, this bitch, I bought them. Guess what, you can buy your dick and I can't, don't mean mine don't size up. She going through a phase, she'll fuck me in 2 years. Shut up, bitch. She probably got kids, she ain't no real dyke. You probably got kids, bitch.
You probably got kids, you ain't no real dyke.
Fuck out that nigga. You wanna be tough now because the nigga used to fuck you up, turned you tough. Don't get smart with me, fuck Lawrence up. He the one that beat you gay. With your hairy ass pussy.
and he don't let up. There's one instant where he tries. It seems like he tries to leave it, and it's just like she keeps going and keeps going. He's just like, "Fuck you, bitch!" Yo, this is 5 minutes and 39 seconds. He went on this chick for 5 minutes, yo. Like, how you roast a motherfucker for 5 minutes? Yo, we was in high school, but if this was like outside the cafeteria or something, but you couldn't come to school the next day. Man, you have to fake sick or something, bro. Or you have to fight. You have to beat this nigga ass. Something. If somebody roasts you that bad for 5 minutes in front of all these people, man, don't show your face the next day.
Like that saying, I don't want to get cracked on. Then you want to try your arm. I will fuck you up on this type of shit because I'm ignorant as fuck. Yeah, they can't. This bitch, I bought them. Guess what? You can buy your dick and I can't. Don't mean mine don't size up. Yeah. She going through a phase. She'll fuck me in 2 years. Shut up, bitch. She going through a phase. She'll fuck me in 2 years. She probably got kids. She ain't no real dyke. You probably got kids, bitch. Fuck out of here. You want to be tough now because the nigga that used to fuck you up turned you tough. Don't get smart with me. Fuck Lawrence up. He the one that beat you gay. With your hairy ass pussy. I was mind my business, y'all. What now? What now? What now? You ain't gotta tell me shit, bitch. You ain't get paid to talk. You ain't got to say shit, but just fucking shut the fuck up.
See? That's it. He's trying to leave it.
You can't take me to the mall, bitch. I shot.
All you gotta do is shut the fuck up. You ain't got to say shit. Just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. He trying to leave it right there, yo. And she won't.
Hey. With your hairy ass pussy.
I was minding my business. Right?
I was minding my business, y'all. What now?
See?
What now?
You want to leave it right
what
there.
Now? You ain't got to tell me shit, bitch. You ain't get paid to talk.
Leave it alone.
You ain't got to say shit, but just fucking shut the fuck up. You can't take me to the mall, bitch. I shot good.
I know that you excellent.
She don't dress nice, so how you gonna take me to the mall? Step your pussy up and your tongue, bitch. I got you wet right now. You don't know what to do. Look at her. She don't know what to do. You know she can't talk to God about it. She's like, devil, what's happening? Because you going to hell, bitch. Where you going, red in her hair. I don't drink. I'm not an alcoholic, bitch. I don't gotta forget about my uncle touching me. You do. I don't gotta forget about nobody touching me. You do. I'm good. I got paid to do this, bitch. You paid to come here. I'm at least 20 up on you. You dumb bitch. How do you feel look dumb? How do you feel look dumb? Hey yo, if you can find Rihanna, standing ovation, tell that bitch, you look so dumb right now. Out this bitch, suck that pussy and don't get yours sucked. You ain't even good at making deals, bitch. No, she on fire. She ain't washed her dildo and got burnt. This bitch got dildos in a dishwasher. When she fuck a bitch, she say deeper. She say hold up and go in the drawer. Fuck out of here, you dusty bitch. And I still fuck you. You all woman. And your throat deep. And your throat deep.
That's why it's dry. All that dick in your mouth. Yeah.
Oh, everybody's eat. All right, one more try because she's trying to get a laugh. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to shut up and we're going to wait till she say something funny. Go.
Let me wear that sweater home. It's little as shit.
You want to fuck me? That's why you want to wear it home, bitch. Let me have your sports bra to come in. Bitch. You got a sports bra and a regular bra just in case you beat Mr. Right. You're not going to win, bitch, with your black thumbs. Erica Badu. End of the day, you mad because niggas used to just stuck you in your ass because your pussy smell worse. End of the day, you had to get babysitted by that uncle that nobody had kids with. End of the day, nobody wanted to fuck you. You gay by genetics. Who would fuck you? I'm waiting. Who would fuck her? By the raise of hands. What man in here? None. She only fucking you because you got a state job. She got daddy issues, and now I'm gonna be her daddy after this show. She gonna look me up. It don't matter, bitch. You know who else old? Idris Elba, and he'll fuck your bitch too. You ain't shit, bitch. You ain't gonna be shit. Never. You a whore. Get your cobweb pussy the fuck out this place. Your parents don't love you.
Nobody don't love you.
Well, nobody love you. This bitch wears slouch socks.
Slap socks.
Everybody get shit out of today. Hey, look, bitch, you wear slouch socks with the Bobo stripes, bitch. How your balls stick on a dildo? Bitch, you dirty. But on a positive note, I gotta get out of here. So, God bless all y'all, right? Follow me on Instagram, comedian Dave Butler, and y'all have a good night.
Hey, shorty. Hey, shorty. I got all.
This bitch got on slouch socks with the Bobo stripes. But on a positive note. Yo, he wrecked it. He wrecked that bitch, yo. Oh my God. But he made her famous though. Like, bitch, I know all your coworkers. Oh, jeez. And she probably one of them dyke bitches to go to work, think she funny as shit. Ha ha ha, nigga, ba da 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 da. And you just got burned. That's why that be the motherfuckers who even heckle a comedian. Somebody who think they funny. Bitch, if you was funny, you would be on the goddamn stage. Doing a goddamn routine with a good bit. Making motherfuckers laugh. But you gonna try to get a comedian shit. Your ass ain't up there. You gonna come at a damn comedian? Come on, man. I don't know what he said. He must, like he said, bitches or something. Like you get mad because I said bitch or something. Alright, she must be saying something before that though. That's what I'm saying. She was already saying something before that motherfucker started recording all that shit. They hate you. Shut up, bitch. No, he said, shut your ass up, bitch. Oh, you get mad because I say bitch now. Dave Butler. Walking on water, wow, wow. Walking on water, wow, wow.
With over 500 Gold Check certified vehicles to choose from, at Ken Pollock Used Cars, we make...
Like he was in a maximum security penitentiary. It's like they're never getting out of there. Every day you're just dealing with horrible people in terrible circumstances, and they know that you get to leave. They know you get to leave. But you're living with them most of the day. He goes, yeah, I'm not a prisoner. He goes, but my environment is surrounded by these people. He's like, that affects you. It's like, I never thought about it that way. I always thought the guards have it okay. It's just a job. Whereas the inmates, well, those poor bastards are stuck in there. Well, you're in there with them for 8 hours a day. Most of the time, you're not controlling them. Most of the time, you're just coexisting.
Yeah,
like, oh my
who's
God.
behind the bars? Which way is behind, right?
Right.
They're in a cell with a hallway filled with bars. People, one person on the other side of each bar. So are they.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
Yeah. And then they're wearing body armor and fucking they have clubs, and they're always terrified that a riot's going to break out.
You saw Whitey Bulger got killed?
He did?
Yeah.
When?
Yesterday in prison.
They transferred him in, first day.
First day.
Pull that
a guy
story up.
A guy that hates rats, killed him. An Italian guy or like a gangster guy.
Really?
Yep. The guy is obsessed with hating rats and hating people that eat women. And I guess Whitey killed women.
Wow.
So this guy, the first chance he got.
Whitey Bulger met a violent end after a lifetime of brutality.
They tried to pull his eyes out of his skull.
Whoa.
I don't know if they were successful or not. The thing I read didn't make it clear.
Hold on, make that larger so I can read that.
Doesn't really say much.
What does it say? In a 3-foot grave near a river not far from Boston, Pat McGonagall's body lay decaying, undisturbed, until his remains were found 20 years later. Part of his pelvic bone, a fractured skull, and decomposed brain matter. This is all the different things that he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he was a horrible fucking killer.
West Virginia, day after he transferred.
You know, I used to train a guy that was one of his fucking mob henchmen. Guy said to me once, he goes, if you were going to kill somebody, how would you kill him? I was like, with my bare hands? He goes, yeah. I go, I'd probably hit him in the neck. He's like, yeah. Wow. I was like, okay.
That was the end. See, it's not scary until you find out that's the end of the conversation.
I was 19 at the time, and I was teaching Taekwondo.
Wow.
And I was teaching this guy who, he was friends with a friend of mine who absolutely worked for Whitey Bulger, who wound up going to jail. And they told me that this guy used to whack people. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And I was teaching him Taekwondo. He was very serious. Like, he was very intense. And I was very aware that there was something different about him. Like, I was very aware, like, he wasn't just a guy that was learning for exercise or self-defense, want to take little classes, learn a little martial arts. He was going to use it. Like, he was a guy that was, in case he needed to use it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a mindset of someone who just wants to get better at a martial art, and there's a mindset of someone who's thinking about, okay, it's going to come down, I'm going to fucking get him right there. Okay, and I'm going to get him right there. That guy was, like, when he would practice, there was a certain amount of focus and intensity that he had that was palpable.
Yeah. Mobsters need to get better at that type of stuff. You ever remember De Niro's kicks in Goodfellas? Those just sloppy, the straight down, just, you mutt.
What's this? Whitey Bulger's favorite
suspect that did it.
Yeah.
He was unrecognizable. That's the guy who did it?
Quote of, bam.
Mr. Bulger's eyes appeared to have been dislodged from his head, although it was unclear whether his attackers gouged him out or they were knocked out because he was beaten so severely in the attack. This information was relayed by a senior law enforcement official who oversees organized crime cases.
Oh, that's what it was. It was a padlock stuffed inside a sock.
Oh, that's what they beat him with?
Yep. And they also pulled his eyes out of his head.
At least in part with a padlock that was stuffed inside of a sock. At least 2 inmates were quickly sent to solitary confinement after Mr. Bulger was found, according to 3 employees of the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Well, couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Whitey Bulger.
Do you know he won the lottery twice?
Really?
Yep.
Damn.
Not really.
Yeah.
Scam. I mean, that was how he would show his income. So someone else would win the lottery, and they would come to him, and he would like give them the money, and they would give him the lottery ticket, and he'd be like, "Look, I won the lottery.
Wow.
That's how I'm rich."
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's dark. Like, they probably would find the person who won the lottery. You know, they chased Dana White out of town. Do you know that?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, they wanted money. They wanted payment from Dana White. And Dana White got beaten up by them so severely that he had, like, tinnitus in his ears.
Fuck.
Yeah, he had a jet out of town. He moved to Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because they wanted a cut of the UFC.
No, it wasn't the UFC. There was no UFC back then. He was like a boxing trainer.
Oh.
I forget what he was doing, whether he's running a gym, but he had to leave town because of the mob. That's why he left Boston. Yeah, it was real, man. I mean, this was all... when I was a kid, I mean, I got seriously into Taekwondo in 1982. That's when it became, like 81, 82. That's when it really became like my whole life. And that's right around the time where all that shit was going on.
I was born in 81.
In 1988, I became friends with a comedian.
How old is Joe Rogan? Hey Siri. How old is Joe Rogan?
Joe Rogan is 51.
Wow. Okay, go back to YouTube. Yeah. Joe Rogan is 51.
Who was... His brother went to jail for being a part of Whitey Bulger's mob. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was like everybody knew somebody who was in some way connected to the mob. In some way, you know? I just one dude. You want to hear a crazy story? There's one guy. He's dead now. I could talk about him. His name is Richie. And he went to jail while I knew him. He was arrested for a murder that I don't think they ever got him on. But this person who was killed wasn't just killed. They broke every bone in his body with a hammer and kept injecting him with cocaine to keep him awake.
Ooh.
Yeah. So he would black out from the pain, and they would inject him with cocaine to wake him back up again. And then they would break another bone. They were breaking all of his bones with a hammer. They cut his hands off, cut his head off, they cut everything off. And then when they found, you know, this broken heap of a body, he was somehow connected to this guy that I knew who sold coke. And this guy had gone to jail. And I knew him before he went to jail. He was another guy from Taekwondo. I knew him before he went to jail. He was one person. He was a young guy. I think, when he went to jail, I was 16, and I think he was 20. And then when he got out of jail, I was 20, and he was 24. And he had scars all over his body where he tried to, sand off his tattoos. He had tattoos all over his arms. And I don't know what the tattoos were, whether they were racist or whether he just didn't want them anymore. But he had, either acid burns or scars, whatever, however the fuck he tried to get the tattoos off, all over his arms. His arms are covered in scars. And he wasn't good. He wasn't a talented martial artist, but he was insanely tough. Insanely aggressive and insanely tough. And when you sparred him, you were fighting for your life. For your life. He would come at me and try to fucking kill me. I mean, fucking kill you. Throwing looping punches with every fucking ounce of his being, and I'm moving around, and I'm like, oh, we're fighting to the death here. We're fighting. This is not sparring. We only sparred a couple of times before this, but one time he had me cornered. He trapped me in a corner and hit me with a fucking bomb on the top of my head. Just boom, as hard as he could punch. He was a strong guy. He was quite a bit bigger than me, too.
Irish guy?
I think he was Italian. And I kicked him in the head so hard it broke his cheek. His cheek shifted over.
Oh.
His face, I wheel kicked him. So I hit him with my heel in his face, and he dropped down. He collapsed, went down to his, went down, face first, got up on his all fours, got back up again, wanted to keep going.
Oh.
And I go, Richie, you got to look in the mirror. I go, come look in the mirror. And he's like, oh, fuck. I go, yeah, you can't spar anymore, dude. He wanted to kill me. He wanted to keep going. After I basically kicked his face in half.
Jesus.
I hit him so hard. It wasn't a sparring session. It was an I'm trying to kill you, you're trying to kill me session. And I remember setting him up, boom! And I hit him with that thing, and he face planted. Most people would have just went out. But he was so angry and so mean. He was trying to get up.
It's fucking scary.
But I was the last time I sparred with him. I'm like, we're not sparring anymore, dude. I'm not fighting to the death with some guy who I'm kind of friendly with.
Right.
I was friendly with him other than that. You would never guess. I remember one time we went out. It was me and him and these two girls, and they were real weird, right? And this one girl was Richie, when are we gonna get this stuff? I go, what stuff are you gonna get? And he's like, and she's like, he's gonna get us some coke. I go, you don't want any coke. She goes, fuck you. I was trying to tell her she doesn't want coke. She's like, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm hanging out with this guy, stupid.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was one of the rare times I hung out with him outside of the gym. He told me a story about how he had to fight off these guys with a broomstick in jail, and how he's beating these guys to death with a broomstick. There's a horrible story about him being forced to mop up something in a bathroom, and these guys cornered him, and he's just fucking attacking them with this broomstick, and about how he got extra time for that. I forget what he went to jail for. I assume it was probably drug-related. I don't remember what it was, but I remember just being so nervous about being connected to people like that, like knowing people like that from the gym. Because there was people like that they always wanted to learn how to fight. So because you knew, you're teaching martial arts, you're training, there's always those guys would always come in. And whenever it was time to spar, scary times. There was no pulling back. There was no, if you were sparring with some friends, like I was sparring with, my friend Leroy Rodriguez, a good friend of mine who was so fast as lightning. This Puerto Rican guy was a bad motherfucker. But he would not hurt me. When we would spar, we would go hard, but he would hold back from hurting you. You could trust certain people. When you were sparring, you knew there was just sparring. There was other people. It was to the death. Terrible.
Crazy.
Not only that, we did it over a fucking thin office carpet on top of concrete. It was just office carpet on top of concrete. So when people would fall, their head would bounce off the concrete.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah. It was horrible.
Good Lord.
That's the 80s, bro. Shit was different.
Louise. No good.
It was so terrible. So terrible back then, man. I'm fascinated by this Planet 9 thing they're trying to observe now, because this is something I've been studying for a long time. That they've been thinking there was very little evidence of it up until recently, but that there was another planet outside the Kuiper Belt, somewhere outside of Pluto. It's one of the reasons why they declassified Pluto as a planet. But now they're almost positive that there's a planet out there. They said, I think that they said within 99% certainty that there's a gigantic planet somewhere around 4 to 5 times the size of the Earth that is out way, way, way past Jupiter. And so I was going to a lot of these YouTube videos that were describing it and then reading the comments. The comments were fascinating. So that's a totally different sort of world.
Yeah.
People are debating the ramifications, and then every now and then one of the Zacharias Hitchen people would jump in there. Do you know who Zacharias Hitchen is?
No.
Zacharias Hitchen was a guy who actually, ironically enough, predicted this in the 70s. But he called it the 12th planet because that's when they thought Pluto was still a planet, and then they thought the moon was a planet. This is all based on the Sumerian text. This is all getting real convoluted now. But Zacharias Hitchen, he is a biblical scholar. He's dead now. But he wrote all these books about this culture from a...
He wrote I read the 12th planet, and I read Genesis Revisited from Zacharias Hitchen years and years ago. I don't even have copies of those in my library. I wouldn't mind having it, even though I don't really subscribe to the ancient alien theory anymore. I mean, it's still really good reads, and there is a lot of history in those and research in his books. And then everybody can debunk everybody else. There's so much proof that we went to the moon, and then there's all the proof that you can use to debunk the moon. And it's the same thing with Zacharias Sitchin and his research. Is so many people says, yes, this is proof. And then you have so many people that go directly against it and debunk everything he says and finds a way to critically analyze everything he does. And so it's always hard to believe that anything about antiquity, because we just don't know. But yeah, but the one thing Zacharias Sitchin did for me, he actually set me on a course of reading the Bible, because he uses the Sumerian text and says it's basically the true creation story, and the Bible is basically Cliff Notes of the Sumerian creation story, And he goes through this whole thing, and he breaks everything down, and the symbolism and the numerology, and he makes the correlations with the Bible, and where you can see the Nephilim are aliens, are the creator gods, and so after reading his work, even though I grew up in a Christian household and my grandmother was a preacher, like, I just always waited until someone else told me what chapter in the Bible to turn to, or what book in the Bible to turn to, and read along with everybody else. Never really wanted to, even if I didn't read along with everybody else, just like, study your Sunday school lesson for next week, it's going to be this and this. And, I never really tried to take a scholarly effort and, critically analyze the book myself. But after reading Zechariah's work and his declarations, it was like, it was so contrary to what I was taught to believe that I literally picked up the Bible and had to read that shit for myself. And then if you read Zechariah's Ascension's work and you read Genesis, you would believe everything Zechariah said, yo. It's like, what the fuck? It's so weird. But yeah, like Rogan is explaining, like he was already talking about this 12th planet Nibiru or some shit like that. However you say this shit, I can't even say it.
Another planet called the Anunnaki, and this is transcribing the ancient Sumerian text. The Sumerians were the oldest. There he is. See that thing that he's holding up in front of him? That is a piece of Sumerian art that depicts these...
that looks like some fucking Transformers shit.
Well, it does, right? Well, what's interesting is, you see that star? You see the star, the sun with all the planets? That is our solar system. It's not just our solar system. That is all the planets in all the right sizes, which is kind of fucking crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, and this was 6,000 years ago, when a lot of people didn't even think that they thought the world was flat, right? But it also depicted this orbit, this what they believe is one of the things that the Sumerian texts describe, is this elliptical orbit of this planet called Nibiru. And this planet is in the outside edge of our solar system. It comes between Mars and Jupiter. This Zechariah Sitchin translation, I think it was over 3,600 something years, and that this is where the Anunnaki came from. And that what they did is they came down here, they studied some lower hominids, they introduced their DNA into these lower hominids and made human beings. And so he had predicted this planet being outside of our solar system for a long time. It's different.
And it's there.
Yeah, it is there.
Do we know what's on this planet?
Well, the orbit is different. The size of the orbit is different compared to what he described. No, we don't even have a picture of it, so we definitely don't know what it looks like. But the Anunnaki, as described by Zechariah Sitchin, is the same thing as in the biblical term of the Elohim. Like, there's also different descriptions of these giants that came from somewhere else. Like those, I think the description of Anunnaki, what it means is those from heaven to earth came. And the idea is that there's advanced beings came down here and genetically engineered human beings. It's widely discredited by other scholars of ancient Babylonian and Sumerian culture, but fun as shit to pretend and read and wonder, well, what if he's right, man? But see, when you do look at some of the stuff, though, you go, okay, well, how did they know about the solar system? How did they know about all those planets? Not only that, they had the caduceus, the caduceus, the symbol for medicine. It's also the double helix of DNA, and that's what he believes it represented. He believes that caduceus symbol that they had represents DNA, and that's what the ancient Sumerian people were trying to describe when they carved these things into clay tablets. They were trying to, as best they could, make some sort of a rational, logical depiction of what they were being told by these ancient people.
Damn. So we might have already figured it out once, and then we're figuring it out again.
Or not. Or there's just a giant...
Or they just have decorations that look like DNA.
There's the double helix. See, you look at the double helix of DNA, and then you look at the caduceus, where this intertwined... You see the top one with the two eagles?
If I was 6,000 years old, man, and I was going to design some shit with snakes...
6,000 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, it would kind of look like that.
Well, but it does look like a double helix of DNA. I mean, it's very, very similar.
But it also looks like a guy was just, like, trying to decorate with two snakes...
Totally.
Doing the tango.
But why does it represent medicine? And why does it still represent medicine today? That caduceus, that symbol, still represents medicine today.
True. It's all one I'm having trouble explaining.
There's some weird shit. There's also some weird shit in terms of some of the imagery that they had of... the solar system one is one of the most telling, because it's really bizarre that without a telescope, they were able to draw a detailed image of the solar system. Like, how the fuck did they do that? How did they know that there was that many planets out there? How were they able to differentiate between stars and planets? How did they know the right number of planets?
Yeah.
Not only that, they also had a detailed depiction of the creation of the moon. They have scientists and astronomers, they have Earth 1 and Earth 2, meaning that Earth was a certain size and a certain shape in the beginning, and then it was hit by another planet. That's also in the ancient Sumerian depiction of how the universe was created, or how the solar system was created. There's a planet called Marduk and Tiamat, and Tiamat collided with Marduk or something like that. I forget exactly but essentially it's Earth 1 and Earth 2. It's the same model that actual astronomers use today when they're describing the Earth.
But he thinks these people from the other planet came here and created humans.
He does. He thinks, well, he's dead. He did. He believed that that's what the ancient Sumerian text was trying to describe. But there's a whole website called SitchinIsWrong.com, and SitchinIsWrong.com is from other scholars who were tired of listening to all this, what they felt was nonsense. And they sort of laid out what they think is incorrect about his translations. But at the end of the day, put the translations aside, and you're looking at a 6,000-year-old depiction of the solar system. It's like, what the fuck is that? Not only that, there's these also depictions of these enormous people with these little monkey people sitting in their lap. And this was what he believed was describing the Anunnaki's genetic alterations of monkeys, of taking these lower hominids, introducing their superior advanced DNA into these monkeys, and creating something that's very different. Do-do-do-do. I know we would do it. I'll tell you that. For fuck sure. Right? If we found another planet there was a bunch of dumb monkeys on, we did a detailed audit of the planet and found no higher animals, nothing that had a computer.
We would drop our seeds.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, we're probably already looking for those places to just...
yeah, for sure.
Dudes.
At the very least, someone would fuck one of those things. Like Avatar, right? That was like one of the most realistic things about Avatar, that dude wanted to fuck one of those blue people.
I would be scared to put my dick in a blue person.
Yeah, you never know what's going on, man.
I don't know, man. That shit probably burns through condoms.
Especially if they're big.
Blue people.
They're so much bigger than us.
Yeah.
And especially when you look at the mating habits of things that we know on Earth. What is this?
The skeletons they found?
A 36-foot
find
tall...
fucking skeletons. Throw that away. What are you going to?
I'm not going to fuck a 36-foot tall blue person.
Well, if you do, you're going to need some help. You're not going to do it alone. 36-foot tall. That shit is so not real. Well, it's fun. Most of it is fun. But if you look at that image that you had pulled up before, Jamie, there's an image of one of those Anunnaki having a little monkey-like person sitting in their lap. It's not on this page. It's before, when you had it. Look at some of those other images. There's these ones where these guys, these enormous-looking characters, have these little tiny monkey people with thumbs on their feet, and they're sitting on this guy's lap.
They have thumbs on their feet?
Yeah, in the drawing. Yeah, they're smaller, and they have thumbs on their lap, and according to the text this guy described, the text is very confusing, too, because it's something called cuneiform, and cuneiform, it's like, have you ever been in an old building that has, like, those old-school nails? Do you know what those old school nails looked like? Like in the turn of the century, they were like a flat top, but it was almost like a wedge, and that's what nails looked like.
Oh.
That was their writing. That's not it, Jamie. But that's one of them that's similar, though. But this is Egyptian. You're looking at something that's Egyptian. But the Anunnaki one, you had it from just, if you go back to that window that you had before, Go back to that window that you had before that had the depiction of the solar system.
Clicked around. Oh, on that one. Okay.
Yeah, because when you whatever search that you used for that, there was one of them that had one of those homeboys had one of them sitting on his lap. Right up there at the top. See right there, bam. See that?
Oh,
like look at that.
With the thumb foot.
Yeah, there's a few of these that have little weird that people think are depictions of things with tails. It's very strange stuff, man. It's very strange. At the very least, they had an advanced knowledge.
That guy looks like a Teletubby, the one he's holding up. He kind of looks like a Teletubby.
Well, it doesn't look like a monkey in that picture, but in some of them, they actually look like they have tails.
He got the fuckboy knot haircut, too.
There's all sorts of weird stuff involved in it. Their knowledge of the solar system was one of the most disturbing things. Because you're talking about 6,000 years ago. Like, how did they know about all those planets? How did they know that they were... They knew the right orbit. You know, they knew that Jupiter was, like, far larger than Mars. They had Mars smaller than Earth. They had, like, all the orbits correct. It was really strange stuff.
Yeah, it's too good to be a coincidence, but then I'm like, I don't know if I believe the whole shebang.
Yeah.
You know?
Almost always the whole shebang's wrong.
But it would be awesome if somebody just showed up on this planet like Optimus Prime one day and was like, hey, I created you guys. We've been over here. Like, oh, I've been wondering where you guys were.
Would you think that would be fun, though?
It would be awesome.
Isn't it better to be at the top of the food chain than to be waiting for our galactic overlords to tell us how much we suck?
It would just be it would be just awesome if somebody showed up like, this is what life's about, this is what you're supposed to do, Eddie, your fucking ideas are terrible, please fucking do this.
It would be devastating to the self-esteem of people living on Earth, I'll tell you that, because they would realize we would be like very Lord of the Flies-esque, like we were a bunch of kids left alone to our own devices, and then when the adults showed up, they're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, and you realized everybody's just acting like a psychopath because they have no one to look over them.
It would be cool, though. If I've been doing it all wrong, I kind of want to know what the hell we're supposed to do.
Well, we're definitely doing it all wrong. But I think we're supposed to figure it out on our own. I mean, look, if we've got Ted Cruz, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and Bernie Sanders as our only hopes to be the commander-in-chief for the greatest army the world has ever known, for fuck's sure, we're doing it wrong. We're 100% doing it wrong. These are not the great scholars and the great intellectuals that we need to help run this world. There's no one amongst them that has like a brilliant philosophy. Even when you're looking at Bernie and Hillary, and Bernie, as much as I love him and as much as I love some of his ideas, you see that guy and Hillary, and they're bickering back and forth during these debates. That's so unbecoming of someone who's supposed to be the president,
the leader.
Yeah, especially a dude who's in his 60s and some lady who, you know, she covers everything except the very top of her neck. I mean, it's bizarre. Yeah. It's bizarre. Like, you're supposed to be further along in this crazy journey than us. If you want to be the president, you should be so far ahead that you have some lessons that you can impart upon the rest of us. You have some ideas about how we can improve our policies. You have some ideas on what laws that we can establish that would probably be better to protect us from greed and from evil corporations and from people that are raping the world of all its natural resources. All those ideas.
Well, the thing is, the really smart people, Joe, they have other ways to control and fucking rule the planet. You know, like, I don't think the president is actually the most powerful person.
You going Illuminati on me right now, bro?
I think so.
Do you believe in the Illuminati?
Not Illuminati, but I just think that, I mean, if for some of these people, like Bloomberg. Why would Bloomberg run? Bloomberg can already fucking call shots from where he's at. He has more money than fucking anybody.
Well, maybe he feels like the system is broken and he's in a situation to give his life meaning and maybe enhance the lives of other people by helping. I don't know, because I don't know him. I'm not even familiar with him, but I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate would say that, I mean, if you have all that money and you have all that freedom, why wouldn't you try to make the world a little bit of a better place?
Yeah, I agree, but I think that they can do it in a different way. I mean, look, the Koch brothers, I mean, they're using their means to mold the world the way they see it. I think the people who really have power, they're like looking at the president, like, that guy's a puppet, you know?
Well, it's definitely been shown to be a puppet more than once.
Yeah.
More than one different administration has been shown to be completely at the influence of the people that got him in the office in the first place.
Yeah.
That's all disappointing, you know?
Yeah.
And they would all be wiped out if the Anunnaki showed up on a gigantic gold disc, came out levitating telling us how stupid we are.
We need the Anunnaki to come.
Do you think so? But we're going to be that someday. That's my thoughts.
Captain Save-A-Ho, save these hoes.
They would totally be Captain Save-A-Ho. The rest of the other aliens would be like, bitch, what are you doing? Get the fuck off Earth. Are you going to Earth?
This planet of heroin addicts.
Have you not watched TV? Have you not gone on Earth and look at the YouTube comments? They're fucking savages. Get out of there, man. Get out. They're going to eat you and fuck Anunnaki. You. And not necessarily in that order.
They're gonna come on your tits, bro.
Dude, run! They're gonna come on your grandma's tits. Get out! Get out of that planet. If someone could be the first person to fuck an Anunnaki, you don't think that would be a contest? That'd be a radio contest.
I feel like
if
it was between humans and Anunnakis, it's not a human fucking Anunnaki. It would be the Anunnaki fucking the human.
You say that, but what if it's a really smart, clever, crafty person and an Anunnaki that's been getting $30,000 a year and really doesn't have any motivation and they're weak?
I think even the shittiest Anunnaki is gonna fuck a human through a wall.
You say that.
Through that brick wall.
You say that, but take one of the dumbest people of today and put them in a room with one of the smartest people from ancient Rome. And who would be running shit? Smartest dude from ancient Rome.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Well, don't you think that would be the case as far as like advanced intelligence? Like, if you get a really dumb... I mean, unless they figured out a way to eliminate stupidity, which it seems like you're always going to have conflict and resolution. That seems like what the universe is supposed to be all about. The universe is about problems and solutions for those problems, and that's how things advance. And that's what the universe of thought is in this world. It's always constant conflict and resolution of that conflict and trying to figure out how to never have this conflict again and what's the best way to get even natural disasters and all this thing. There are opportunities to innovate. There are opportunities to figure out, okay, we saw what happened in Fukushima. How do we get power and not have this problem? And what do we do? And then all these minds converge and they try to figure out solutions. I think that's just always going to be the case. I think that's what causes things to improve, is this constant battle. If everything was groovy and perfect, nothing would get done.
Yeah,
it seems like there always has to be a
struggle.
Yeah, there's a dilemma that always has to be addressed,
which is dope. It gives you.
It is dope. Should we end on that?
Yeah, I think that's fucking good.
It's dope.
Yeah, it's good.
There was a fucking photo that I took off of Twitter today, I think. Somebody put it up. I'll find out who put it up. But it was just a little sign that was outside some place in Texas that said, instead of having a president, why don't we just all agree really hard to be cool? And I saw that, I was like, well, that's so fucking simple, but isn't that going to be what it is one day? Like, isn't it kind of moving into that sort of a direction? Isn't that what's going to be one day?
I hope so.
Just everybody be cool. Just relax. I think that's what's... We're moving away from all of the fucking... the weird base physical needs that we constantly have to feed. Right. We're moving away from those.
But don't you think whoever is aware of that, anticipates that, and they're already counteracting?
You mean the powers that be?
The powers that be.
The evil cabal of geniuses sitting in an old room.
You know what I mean?
Books, leather-bound books on the wall. If you have a leather-bound book, you're an asshole. How about that? If you're one of those guys with a bunch of books behind you, first edition, in leather, gold plating. I don't think they can manipulate it nearly as much as we think they can. I think they definitely manipulate the things they can, and I think this world has gotten so out of hand that it's on its own. It's working on some kind of crazy instinctual momentum towards progress. I think those old dudes for sure killed Kennedy. For sure. I've seen the arguments for, I've seen the arguments against. Somebody killed Kennedy, and it wasn't just Lee Harvey Oswald. Everybody's got this either-or thing, like Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. I don't think so. I think he definitely was in on it, though. I think there's a gang of people in on it. I think he was one of the people that was in on it. It's highly likely that Lee Harvey Oswald was out of his fucking mind. Crazy asshole, working for the government, doing some weird shit in Russia, comes back over here, marries a Russian lady. There's all sorts of wackiness to it, but Good. I'm just rambling.
But what is all that?
That was back in the 60s. That's what all that is.
What is all that?
Manipulation. It's all manipulation. They were trying to figure out how to retain control. Kennedy wanted to break up the Federal Reserve. Well, a bunch of people. First of all, he wanted to get rid of the CIA. He wanted to get rid of the NSA. He wanted to get rid of a bunch of agencies, either the CIA or the NSA. One of those he wanted to dissolve. He wanted to get rid of the Internal Revenue Service. He wanted to get rid of the Federal Bank. Like, Kennedy had some radical ideas. He wanted to change a lot of things about the way the world was. And he also wanted pussy en masse.
Did you ever read? No one ever heard. Did you ever hear the whole speech?
Which one?
The famous one he did. It's always the end. Ask not, that thing. Yeah. But did you ever hear the whole speech?
No, I'm sure I did, but
it's
I don't remember
what
it.
you're saying.
He was a bad motherfucker, dude. He
was saying, like, hey, listen, there's enough means we can all get along.
Damn, double money. Not the double money missions.
Oh, Jesus, we have a fucking hippie on them.
Did you ever hear the stuff that he said about secret societies?
No.
Dude, play this, because this is
get
bananas.
Exhausted from that stuff.
I know.
I'm not saying
You can. No, look, I've
believe or don't.
My friend Eddie Bravo, who I love to death, he loves every single one of them. Every conspiracy that comes along, he dives into it. Fucking hook, line, sinker. He loves them.
I love them too.
They're fun, man.
They're fun.
They're fun.
Because at the end of the day, it's got my little house and my little lawn and...
Dude, Vince Foster, look it up. Did you ever hear about that guy who was running drugs through Mena, Arkansas? Yeah, he was in that movie. Yeah. They were dropping coke out of planes. His name was Barry Seals. He was working for the CIA, dropping coke out of planes. And they caught these kids, found it, they killed the kids.
Was that the game show guy?
No,
game show. That was the game show.
Oh, yeah.
The Gong Show.
Don Barris, yeah.
Yes.
No, Don Barris is our friend. So what is his name?
Didn't they make a movie about that guy?
Yeah, Chuck Barris.
Chuck Barris.
Yeah, it was kind of like a fake movie,
right?
Like pretending that he was a hitman or something.
Yeah.
I fell asleep watching it once. It's one of those movies.
See, now I would get exhausted with this talk. It used to be really, really
paranoid.
Hey, listen. Not paranoid. Just you go. What do you do about all that? Then what do you
shorter version of a longer speech, but
good, perfect. The shorter version won't want to hear. I know it's exhausting, dude. This will exhaust the shit out of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control. And no official of my administration, whether his rank is high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or to withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political.
He was a bad motherfucker. We could just listen to that whole speech and just bail on this podcast.
But what does everyone give the trophy to? What does it say on every poster? What is he most famous for? Not that's all they took was that last end of the speech. You said, "Ask not."
Right. What's your country?
And you didn't. Who? That all should have been on there.
So that is also a part of the same speech.
Is that the same speech? Or
well, either way,
it's the same. Retarded. I'm not going to act like I'm a historian here.
It is the same guy who said that, and you never hear that speech.
That's what I'm saying.
Hear the other part.
How come you never heard that?
Yeah.
That's the sickest speech I've ever heard by any president. Ever.
Yeah.
Then again, I don't listen to any of them. I'm 2 minutes in, I'm out.
Well, it's hard to listen to them because you know it's horseshit.
It's horseshit.
And they all talk like presidents. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't just talk to you. They all talk to you in this, like, there's like a pattern they're locked into that you can't read. When someone talks to you as if you were a person in the audience. You know,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a pattern in the way he's talking. Mm-hmm. They don't reveal much about their actual emotions. They put on a mask. When you do a speech like a politician, you're putting on a verbal mask, and you're not allowing people to see much of you. That's why when we see a little bit, you know, like when Hillary Clinton shrieks, and people are like, why is everybody concentrating on that? Because you're getting to see a little bit of her. You see a little bit of her through the mask. Right. She's got this 2-inch thick political mask that she's put, it's coats of paint that have now hit 2 inches thick from all the years of doing this. So when you hear a shriek,
it's no different than if you watch a third grader in a play.
Right.
When those kids come out, it's the same monotone. They don't know their lines. They don't care about their lines. When I watch the politicians talk, it's no different it's more fucking painful to watch that than my third graders' horrifying play every single year they do.
Well, that's one of the things that bummed me out the most about Obama. When I first saw him, when he was first in office, when he was first running for president, I was like, this guy's going to be like a new Kennedy. Like, this guy's going to be like this guy who changes everything with the way he talks and the policies that he creates. He's a young, articulate, I mean, he's essentially close to our age. He's like 3 years older than us. He grew up in our age. He grew up in our era.
But don't you think he's put in that situation somewhere along the line? They're like, listen, you can have a nice little run here, but there's some other rules you need to abide by. You understand?
I like how you say that with a southern accent.
I don't know why I pitched southern. It sounded scarier.
It's a bit meaner.
It scares me more. If a Northerner gives me a threat, for some reason, Southerner scares me more because I really, it's more menace in that.
You know what it was? The Burt Reynolds movie.
Which one?
The fuck was that movie? When they went in the swamp? His first movie? Deliverance. Remember? Squeal Like a Pig. Remember that?
Scary.
Fuck yeah.
Traumatized.
That was our when people grew up in the East Coast or in the Northeast.
Yeah.
When you heard those movies, you saw those movies rather. That was like our introduction to like scary Southern people. Oh.
So what'd you think Obama? What'd you want Obama to come out and do?
I thought I was looking at the future. I thought I was looking at someone who was going to change everything. I thought, like, here's this guy who's like everything we always wanted. Bush was like this guy who was almost anti-intellectual in a way. It seemed like he would take these like real shortcuts to the way he thought and the way he expressed himself. Real obvious shortcuts. He didn't express himself in a way where he was trying to get really intelligent people to say, okay, this guy's well thought out. What he was doing was he was expressing himself in a way where he was trying to get like really dumb people to think he's one of them. And there's two different kinds of people. You know, there's someone like Obama when he was running for office. Or here's a good example. Ron Paul's a great example.
Right.
Ron Paul is obviously very intelligent, and he speaks to both the intelligent people and to the people that might not understand all the concepts that he's discussing when it comes to big government or intervention in foreign policy, intervening in foreign countries. When he does it, it's like very clear and concise and particularly well chosen words. So Obama was that guy. Like, to me, it's like Obama was like the opposite of the guy who was appealing towards dumb people. Obama was appealing towards youth and hope. You know, hope and change was like the big part of the. All these years later, what's really changed that much?
Joe, think about this though.
Okay.
All right. You get to that part. I get it. I'm with you 1,000%. But the realistic view, don't you think, where you look at every great hero and there's that fear of death, like, oh, I like some of these concepts you're talking about. Kids are nice. Kids look real nice over there. So you want a little change? It's awesome. Let me show you a little video of Mr. Kennedy's. The last guy had that big, dumb fucking speech. Remember John Lennon? Wasn't he cute? Huh?
Do you think they killed John Lennon?
Imagine, oh, send out a wacko. Oh, fucking wacko, son of a bitch.
But isn't it more likely that people are obsessed with John Lennon because he's an amazing artist?
Yes, could be.
Like that little girl that got shot in Florida last week.
Horrifying.
But do you think that she was a part of the Illuminati? Was there like some sort of a plan to stop her and her message of freedom? Or was it just a crazy fuck that was in love with her? Just a young girl was a singer.
I went for
But what I'm saying
fuck.
Yeah, most likely.
It could be crazy fuck. I know that.
A lot of crazy fuck.
All right, guys. I know it was a late stream, and it seems like it's kind of short, but I did start streaming a while ago and couldn't keep the stream going because of my internet connection. So I've actually been in here for almost 3 hours because I was on Facebook for about an hour and some change. But currently working on this commission.
I have seen 5 extraterrestrials.
This is a commission project that and the guys from Cali, so I'll have another piece of art in Cali as soon as this is done. I appreciate you guys chilling with me this evening. I'll definitely try to be back in here in the morning on our regular schedule. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go play some video games now and eat some pizza. Peace till next time.